If managing money makes you anxious, you're not alone. For a lot of us, the stress isn't just about numbers. It's about avoidance, overwhelm, and not knowing where to start. So in this teaching, we're going to talk about structure. Last time we talked about wisdom. When you talk about structure, it's not the kind that feels restrictive, but the kind that brings peace. Because God's way isn't rushed. And when we align our finances with His order, anxiety starts to lose its grip. Today, we'll use a simple lens, planning, tracking, and systems so your financial life stops feeling chaotic and starts feeling steady. In Proverbs 21:5, good planning and hard work lead to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty. Notice what it does not promise: instant wealth. It promises direction, stability, fruit with diligence. God is not rushed, and wisdom doesn't sprint. Wisdom builds. Now let's break this down with a few key truths you can apply this week, even if you're just starting from scratch. Remember, planning is peace, not pressure. If planning makes you anxious, it might be because you think planning is about controlling outcomes. Planning isn't about controlling life. It's about stewarding what God already placed in your hands. A plan is simply a decision to make in advance so your emotions don't get to decide in the moment. When you don't plan, spending gets loud, impulses lead, and then stress follows behind. But planning says, I'm going to be intentional, not because I'm afraid, because I want peace. This week, don't chase a shortcut. Choose one small, faithful planning step. Now ask yourself, what part of planning triggers anxiety for you? Fear of restriction, fear of failure, or fear of seeing the truth? That's something that I struggled with. What would that one small planning step look like this week for you? And if planning is stewardship, what is God inviting you to steward more carefully? Next thing is think of tracking as clarity, not control. So if you avoid looking at your bank account, it's not laziness, it's usually anxiety. I know if you're like me, sometimes I exercise those avoidant behaviors. I don't get on the scale. Sometimes I don't look at my bank statements. And that's what led me into trouble in the past. That's why I'm sharing this with you. Remember, tracking is answering one question: what is happening right now? And Proverbs gives us that picture. Know the state of your flocks. In modern life, your flocks might be your checking account, your bills, your debt, your savings, your retirement. Remember, resources don't manage themselves. Clarity doesn't limit you, it prepares you. So you don't have to judge yourself. Just get honest and let clarity serve you. Ask yourself, what financial area do you avoid looking at the most? Is it debt? Is it spending, subscriptions, your retirement? Is it bills? Now, what emotion shows up when you try to track? Is it shame? Is it fear or confusion? What would it look like to track it with curiosity instead of fear? Next thing is, without systems, life drifts towards chaos. If your finances feel chaotic, it might not be because you're bad with money. It might be because you don't have a system. There's a concept in science often described as entropy. Things naturally drift towards disorder when they are intended. That applies to your home, to our bodies, to your schedule, and to our money. Ecclesiastes 10:10 says, using a dull axe requires great strength, so sharpen the blade. If you don't have a system, you'll need more energy to keep up, but wisdom sharpens the blade through simple processes that reduce stress. Now, systems don't mean set it and forget it. They mean make it easier for you to do what's right. God's wisdom makes life lighter, not heavier. So build one system that protects your peace. Ask yourself, where do you feel the most financial drift? Is it in spending? Is it bills? Is it debt? Saving? What's one tiny system that would reduce your stress? Is it auto pay? Is it an app that tracks all your accounts and lets you know where your finances are? Is it like a weekly money check-in or a simple budget and category list? And then what would sharpening the blade look like for you this month? And I'm going to challenge you with sharpening the blade, just getting some understanding about financial literacy. Now, the next thing is money needs an assignment: past, present, future, and giving. Have you ever wondered where your money went? I know I've had those times when there's more month than money, and I'm not sure where I spent it. And then money gets stressful when there's no specific purpose or assignment. Here's a simple framework. Every dollar is going to one of four places. It goes to past, which is your debt, present, which is their expenses, future, which is savings and retirement. And then for me, it's giving. When money doesn't have an assignment, it leaks into impulse spending. And then you're left with regret and stress. In Proverbs 13:16, it says, wise people think before they act. So one of the most peaceful financial moves is assigning purpose ahead of time. So your money matches your values, your responsibilities, and your future. You know, when it comes to giving, some people think it's counterintuitive. One thing about giving for me, there's a release that happens when I know in my heart I am part of the Lord's process of placing where blessings need to go. So even when I'm struggling, I do it. Might have to adjust because I know I can't outgive God. My story, He gave me a full ride scholarship for my master's degree. I was a C student for my bachelor's, so that was a total God thing. And then He helped me buy my first house after the divorce because it was a really tough season, moving from place to place. And that was a blessing. I remember sitting in my driveway, holding the keys in my hand to my first house and just crying in my car. He paid for my move to California. And when it was a struggle to pay for 2 different households, He blessed my daughter and now her husband when they were living at my house. He gave them a raise, so they were able to help me pay for basically the mortgage, and I was just able to adjust and pay for utilities. Now, when COVID happened, He was able to help me sell my house. And when it was a struggle for me in 2024, He put it in my heart to declare going to Japan. I know it was a step of faith, and I actually promised Griffin in January 2024 that we're going to Japan. I don't know how we're going to do it, but God's going to make a way. And He did. It was a totally paid for trip. It was an amazing experience for all of us. That's where I also got engaged. So remember, give your money an assignment so your emotions don't end up assigning it for you, like retail therapy. So which category is currently dominating your money? Is it past, which is your debt? Are you trying to catch up and not able to get a break? Is it your present and you're living paycheck to paycheck? You have more months than money. Are you in survival mode? And then what about your future? Do you have enough for retirement? What's one future step can you take, even if it's small? Does giving feel joyful, stressful, or confusing right now? And what might God be teaching you through that? Now, if money felt heavy, and I want you to remember this, structure is not bondage. Structure is wisdom, and wisdom leads to stability. Remember to start small. Take one planning step, one tracking check-in, one system, one assignment, and focus on that. If you don't know where your money is going, log into your bank account, download and export your last 3 months of expenses, make a list of where the money is going, prioritize the must-haves by food, shelter, and transportation, then look at what are the non-essentials. Do you see the money leaks? If you want to geek out and learn how to use Google Sheets and track expenses, see the link in the description below. I'll share my Google Sheets so that way you can see how I do it. See if that helps. In the next teaching, we'll talk about protection, how wisdom prepares without fear, and how guardrails preserve progress over time. If this has encouraged you, like and share it with somebody that's rebuilding their financial life. Subscribe, and let's build our financial house God's way. Thank you for watching.